And we are live once again, everybody. Everybody, we are live. Hello, hello. Let me share my video. Let's get it going. Yes, 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 yes. Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Gonna get it moving and grooving. You know what I'm saying? Another day with Jay Tronius, the governor of the galaxy. Let us keep it pushing, pumping and jumping. I think I'm gonna lay off doing the music because I just realized when I did it earlier with my previous interviews that it didn't work. But without further ado, let's add in our guest. Coming on in, coming on in. We're getting smoother with this, y'all. Hello, hello, hello.
Say hello. Hello.
There we go. Let's bring the camera down a little bit. We got the top of your head cut off here.
I need to be more like this.
There we go. There we go.
Landscape.
Hello, sir. Hello, hello. And hello, everybody else. This is Jay Tronius, and you are once again Gabbin with the Guvna. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an amazing man here that I'm speaking to. Without further ado, brother, tell the world who you are and what it's all about.
Hello, world. My name is Cleveland P. Jones. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm based out of Atlanta, Georgia at the moment. I'm a Morehouse man. I'm a Berkeley grad, and I'm honored to be here speaking to the governor, who I met through Berkeley College of Music, and of course, Mr. Stacey Wade himself. So yeah. I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, you know, man, you're just wonderful, bro.
As you are.
Let's say yes, we did meet in Boston, y'all. We met through the Berkeley College of Music. Specifically, we met through this man that's there in Atlanta with you right now, Mr. Stacey Wade. I always laugh because I remember our introduction. We were a little territorial, and I had come to step in on one of your gigs, and I know I looked wild. I had this big yellow paisley shirt on.
Was it at Mission Hill? Was it at that bar?
We were at Mission Hill.
And you sung "Simply Beautiful" by Al Green.
Man, and we've been cool ever since, man. And so Cleveland, man, you are an amazing singer. You are an amazing spirit. Tell us about your history, man. Tell us the beginning of your journey. What brought you to music? Tell us the humble beginnings. Give us a little timeline of you and your music journey.
Sure. Well, let's just say that the timeline is still, or rather, everything's still humbling. So it's still humbling. But from the beginning, it started, really young in church with my mom, my grandfather, listening to them, watching them sing, listening to them do what they do. Not quite understanding what it was, but I knew there was a spirit or energy that I wasn't clear about, but I knew it existed, and I knew that it moved me. So I kind of watched what my mom did mainly, and I started singing around the house. As a kid, very shy. Did not want to be exposed, cleaning up the house, doing what I need to do. And eventually my mom heard me sing, and she said, okay, you need to be singing in church. And I said, no. And I was already a part of the Sunbeam Choir as a kid. We're kids, we got to be in the little kids choir. But she wanted me to sing out, so do solo. So she kind of started taking me to different places, different churches. And I never heard of the term of calling a young child master. But I would call Master Cleveland Jones, and I thought it was weird. But that's how they started me around singing at different conventions around the church as a solo. And the song was always Jesus Saves.
Yeah. That's my dog. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's your dog, and I got Stacey.
So we got into the church. So we started as the young child. I'm sure they were giving you the young child prodigy thing, and
well, I wouldn't say the young child prodigy thing. Well, let's say if they thought that, great, but I didn't think that about myself. I totally didn't grow up with some ego or thinking that I was all of that. I never did. And maybe that was probably why I was hated on a little bit as a kid. So, but I'm here now, and I blossomed. So of course, after a while, I went to Morehouse College, and I studied there in the Glee Club. And that's where I kind of started singing out a little bit. I was chosen to be a part of an exclusive boy group called, what we called at the time, Spectrum, because all of us were different shades of black. To the high yellow to the dark, so we all were a part of that. And so we started singing out. And then after that, I just started studying with more teaching. I started, and then after that, I said, I've been doing this for a long time. It's time for me to really soar out. So I got into the underground scene at not Morehouse, but at in Atlanta area around 2001, singing in open mics. And so then I got heard by Lil G from Silk, Gary Jenkins. So I started singing backgrounds. And then I started singing backgrounds for Melissa Morgan, if you know who she is. Do you still love me?
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
I had with these people, and just being, again, when I say humble beginnings, Philippia Williams was a big part of that movement for me. And then eventually I just started to see that there was more to it. A friend of mine said to me, Cleveland, if you go to school, you're only going to learn what you already know, but you didn't know that's what you were doing. And I thought that was weird. But I still want to study. And I did figure if I left Atlanta, I would go to Boston. And when I came back to Atlanta, that there will be a lot more, respect for me is not just like some kid who sings. And they'll say, well, he really went and studied. And people, I think, to me, have shown a bit more respect to that degree. Doesn't say the money's changed, but definitely, but that was a part of me too, needing to control knowing my worth and not knowing my worth. So now it's a different ball game. So I know how to now speak up, even though I don't like to talk money, but I know that I have to because it's business. And then of course I go to Berklee College of Music, and I meet wonderful people like you, and I study mainly more so music education while I was there. I try to stay away from the cliquey scenes, the cliquey parts of the guys, but sometimes you just can't help it because you're walking around brilliance, and there's a lot of brilliant people at Berklee. Yourself, Jay Charney, is Stacey Wade himself. Just so many people I can name who are such brilliant people, and to this day, and I thank God that I had a chance to, be in the circle and say I met that person. I was a part of that person's, interview point. So I'm honored, and this moment with you is awesome. So thank you.
I do think that one of the, if not the most important part of Berklee, was the networking.
Yes.
What was the pressure of being around all the big fishes and small ponds and throwing them in a space together to see what would happen.
Exactly.
I think that was, and it was powerful because I remember the first meeting when I first came to Berklee, and there was a girl up there that was speaking to us about look to your left, look to your right, look in front of you, behind you, because you don't know who's going to be who or who is who. And it was funny because at that time, John Mayer was sitting next to me, and Guapale, I had just met Guapale.
Yes.
And they were my classmates. So it was interesting to think about that moment and see what everything has sparked. And being in Boston, you go through, people are constantly coming in and out because it's a college town. And right. I went through, I say like a good 3 to 5 generations of Berklee.
Wow.
Because I had been there almost 20 years. So it was interesting to keep meeting the groups of people and the who's of those groups. And, it's made a vast network for me, and it allows me to do stuff like this where I can bring my network to life through a show like this and constantly connect other people to people that might not have ever met, so that's part of the main reason I started. Man, so Atlanta to Boston, back to Atlanta.
Yes.
Give me an Atlanta versus Boston. Give me a pros and cons on both ends.
I definitely have that for you. Well, let's just say this. I never liked Boston. I'm not gonna lie to you. I never did. That's my truth. I'm a Southern boy. I'm from South Carolina. I never liked Boston, but because it was the weather, it was an energy that I wasn't accustomed to. But I did love being in, again, the networking and getting to know people in Boston. So I got the Berklee experience. I got to meet people like you, like I said, Stacey, and some amazing other people. And that was, to me, the cosmic moment that says, this is why I'm here, and this is why I like it. Again, it was hard for me to adjust, again, being a Southern boy, adjusting to the cold weather. You know, I got used to it, but it's just something that just didn't click. And I kept saying, let's stay in this. Now, versus that Atlanta scene, Atlanta is Southern. It's a Southern city. To me, it's country city, to me. So I adapt well to it because I'm not really a city boy, but it's enough country, per se, that so it kind of melds in. Boston, in that case, and when I say I never liked Boston, that's my truth. I knew I had to get through Berkeley. So I'm not going to give you some convoluted lie or something like that about, you know, oh my God, it was the best place in the world. It was not at all. But great people. That's why I met the love of my life at one point. You know, I met all these things there. So it was a great thing. And Stacey, let me have this interview by myself if you don't stop. Thank you. And I'm talking like, oh, you
know what? He's excited, man. He built the bridge today to make this happen, and you know, Stacey, for the both of us, has been a very prominent figure in both our careers, man.
Very prominent.
Very prominent, man, and we love him for that, man. And,
really. Absolutely.
You know, so now in Atlanta, man, catch us up to speed now. What is going on with you? What do you have going on in Atlanta or just in your career period?
Yeah. Well, on March 27th, I just released my sophomore album titled Let's Make Love. Can you get a copy of that? I'm going to have Stacey as my runner. So I get this. Okay. Yes, I need you now. Yes, I do. Yes. Go get me the copy. So, but mainly, yeah, released an album. It was a collection of songs that I'd done. You didn't see it, Stacey? Anyway, the point is, it's a collection of songs that I've written over the years, and I want to put them, you know, do it my way and not feel like I have to fit into anybody's box. And so it didn't matter to me, and I'm just being really honest, it didn't matter to me who didn't get it. It was just like, this is mine. And this is thank you, Stacey. This is it right here. Let's Make Love by Cleveland B. Joes. Yes. 12 track, amazing. I feel good about it. I did good work, and I'm proud of it. Thank you, Stacey. I take a lot of pride in what I do, and this is something I learned to stop doing as an artist, is making excuses to fit what I think people want to hear. So I ultimately say, oh, Cleveland, wait a minute. You know, a lot of us artists are sometimes waiting for, as I say, Superman to show up. He's not coming. He's not showing up. So you have to get out and get in the paint and do it yourself. Network, like you said. Even a moment like this is great exposure. So I'm grateful for this. I mean, take advantage of all of it. So any spectrum of social media, of any type of publicity, take it, move with it. Let it be bad or good. Someone's still talking about you, so let it be okay. You know, so I'm learning through all that too. But I'm very proud of what I put out. I'm excited about the next go round. I'm moving on. You know what I'm saying? But I'm excited. I'm gonna bask in what I have, but it's time to move on to the newness of what's coming too. So here in Atlanta, I've been wanting to do a lot more jazz for some reason. So soul jazz per se, and I'm that direction, and I have no regrets. So I don't want to overtalk it, but I just want to say I'm grateful. So that's what I've mainly been focused on. And I also bake cakes too. I know it's kind of weird to say it, but it's what I do. I love it.
Tell me about that. Let's dig into that. That's an art form in itself. And, you know, I grew up around a cake maker. One of the first woman that ever showed me to be comfortable in my own skin and to beat to my own drum was my grandmother. May she rest in peace. And she was huge into baking. I mean, amazing cakes, quilts. Like, she was the epitome of an artist beating to her own drum. And she's very pivotal. So tell me about the cakes, because that's a whole nother lane. Well,
you know what? A friend of mine had, you know, I was trying to learn mainly how to make a good red velvet cake. And my sister's a baker. So my sister really gets this thing going. She wipes it out when it comes to it. Like, so I'm like, you know what? It's a hobby for me. Let me do it. And then I had a few friends to come and taste test or whatever. And it was like, not so good. Oh, that's getting better. So I did things like that. So it became therapy for me. I want to bake. So it's like, you know, put your mind to something else. If you're not creating a piece of music, or you may be stressed out about something, not necessarily, because I don't like putting stress into my food either. Get it? Energy. So you gotta be careful. Yeah. But this is a thing that when I start moving my hands, when I know that I'm mixing something, for some reason, even that's music, sitting there writing something, somehow I'm soothing my soul. Something's healing at that moment. and I take that moment and I run with it. So that's why baking became my therapy. So that's my hashtag. Baking is my therapy, like music is. So it's a loving, healing thing for me. So when I do it, and people do, I have actually sold some cakes, which I wasn't expecting to, but you know, they're good and I'm proud of them. I'm very proud of it. So, oh yeah, I do have a Instagram page and it's titled The Cooking Baker. So if you go hashtag The Cooking Baker or just look it up, The Cooking Baker, that is me. That is Cleveland P. Jones. And yes, that's my other thing that I do. And it's very therapeutic and I'm glad that I'm able to do it. And they are good. They're good cakes.
So tell me, out of all the ones, the cakes you've been making, give me what you think your top two. What's your top two flavors?
Absolutely, red velvet and red velvet, and I would definitely say it's a tie between the carrot and the coconut cake. So they're strong cakes. They're strong.
You're 2 out of 3 with me, man. Coconut and carrot are some of my favorite. I actually have
I got it covered.
Every birthday. I ask for a carrot cake. So
really,
that's interesting, man.
I'm gonna make it my
yeah. You know, do you ever see yourself putting those two together? Are you gonna show yourself baking your cakes in your videos? Are you gonna make a song about your cakes? Are you gonna cross the two of them together?
Okay, really good thing. I'm glad you mentioned that. Actually, if I have a YouTube page, and it's titled, and it's a friend of mine his name is Doug Busby, and we're in a band together. So I like cooking, and we want to do music and cooking. So we came up with this title, Music Over Food. So if you go there, there's several videos of us professionally recorded. And what we do is we get people like you and Mr. Wade and some others, and we talk, we give an interview to you. You bring us your favorite recipe. You show us how to make your favorite recipe, or either we'll do it. We'll buy the ingredients and we film. So we have an actual show that's titled Music Over Food. So if you go to YouTube, you'll see Music Over Food, and there's a little black me and a white Doug, and we're holding a sign called Music Over Food, and nice. It's a delight. It's fun. So so I have taken it to that step. Actually, I've actually kind of crossed over, and so what you're saying is right aligned to what's been going on.
Hey man, that's what it's about, man. You put all your gifts together, and you got your own little gumbo, and you give it, and you serve the world. And that's what that's about. Now, I'm going to ask you the question I've asked everybody.
Sure.
At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, what do you want to leave the world? What is the Cleveland Pete Jones legacy? What do you want to leave behind in this world?
That is such a good question. First of all, I'm glad that I'm able to create music. Music never dies. So that's one thing that's beautiful. Now, the world may not discover me right now in the moment of my living. And hopefully they do. If they don't, so be it. But the beautiful thing is that I have something that I like. Again, Let's Make Love. My first album, which is titled Ace of Hearts. My collaborations with different people. These are legacies of moments. They're all my children. All these things are children that came from me. Specifically, something that I wrote or create with people or not with people. That the legacy lives on. You don't die because the music never does. So even though your physical self may leave, the energy of who you are remains. And the music that you consistently put out there, people have no choice but to listen unless, they're not made privy to you. It may be years or decades from now that somebody discover, who's this Cleveland? I'm going to give you an example. There's a guy named Ronnie Dyson, I think it is, and I had no idea of his existence. Someone said, hey, you remind me of Ronnie Dyson. Who's that? I go listen to this man's voice. It's immaculate. It's beautiful. He's singing Bridge Over Troubled Waters and some other stuff. Again, he's gone. I think he left his earthly self at 40 years old, I think. And this was back, I think, maybe in the 70s or early 80s. But the point is that I got a chance, not knowing anything of his existence. Someone mentions that I reminded me of him. Oh, that's even like, what's his name? One of my favorite singers ever, Little Jimmy Scott.
Little Jimmy.
That's the thing. So and I'm just not because I'm talking to you, like you are one of my absolute favorite MCs. I call you MC. I know you sing too, but I call you one of my favorite MCs because when I say you represent, and you go hard in the paint. I am a big fan specifically of that. Oh my God, I can't say the word because I know this is interview.
You can cuss on here.
You know what song I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That song is yeah.
Man, listen, man, and that's a huge compliment coming from you, man. And I think that's what our mutual respect was you know, even what I said with Stacey is that we pour our whole being into it. And when you run into these characters like yourself and me, where we pour our whole being into our music, to where the conviction, I call it, which
Yes.
you can have technicality all day, but if it don't come with conviction, it's nothing.
It's nothing. It's not real.
It's not real.
It's contrived. It is a technical, it's a contrived move. And the thing is this, is like, you know, it's nothing to dismiss any artist, because I do think that anybody who's out there willing to risk putting themselves before people for scrutiny, for judgment, based on their talent and their gifts, you know, and I'm gonna go as far as to say this. The labor of love that I put into this album here, and all my work that I've done, you know, I got word from someone saying, somebody says your album is terrible. And I'm so glad that it didn't affect me. I didn't like the comment because it did hurt because I put so much love into it, but I'm so glad that it was said to me because it had to also thicken my skin. But at the other side, it was like, that also, and I'm gonna go ahead and I could give a you know what, to hell with that person. Yeah. I had to do what I do, and I make no qualms, like there's no apology for what I do. I am unapologetically artful, and that's who I am, and I'm never gonna not do Cleveland. And the thing about this, as we know, as a lot of cookie cutter music out here, I'm not a part of the cookie cutter crew. I'm just Cleveland, and I'm gonna always be there. And again, the people, and I do now understand when people say, go with those who love you or stick with those people who, I get it now. But there was a problem of, you know, as a young artist, getting to know yourself, you want it to be the person that somebody would say, wow, you know, I want to be like, I want to be a part of this, or this is the next new thing, and you want to be the next new thing. Stop being the next new. Could you just be you and be fully in that space? And for those people who discover you, oh my gosh, they're gonna stick with you. So that's why I have this thing I call the Becleavers. So my name is Cleveland. So if you are a believer, so now you're a Becleaver. So this is my little brand that I'm working on, and I'm excited. So yes, are you a Becleaver? Yes,
I'm definitely a Becleaver. I have been for some time, and
I'm a witness, and I love the Guvna. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my dude. Right. Bro, I got a new album coming out. Just because of paperwork and political reasons, I can't go into too much depth with it. But what I can say is that Stacey's on the album, and I can say that the project is called Sons of the Sun. So it's heavy. It's heavy, man. And but you know, to add on to what you just said, man, the definition of art by itself is anything that strikes an emotion.
Yes.
Not a specific emotion, but just anything.
Yeah.
And I tell artists all the time, negative and positive criticism or comments are both positive, because it's when you don't have either one that you need to be worried.
Exactly.
So if it's not striking an emotion, whether it be good or bad, then you go back to the drawing board. But
exactly.
So the fact that you're gonna get those negative comments means that you were bold enough to put yourself out there to even get a comment, period.
Absolutely.
No regret. And it also is very good training. I always say self-love be the best love. So,
the ministry.
This is a thing where you have always put yourself out there, and that is bold in itself, man. This album, Let's Make Love.
Yes.
Are we talking about straight up love making, or are we talking about love, period?
Talking about love, period. We're not talking about anything sexual at all. But if it is interpreted that way, so be it. So, you know, because love comes in many forms, and however you decide to make love, let it be. So it's a full circle. So it could be sexual, agape love, you name it. You know, it could be brotherly love, sisterly love, you know, you with your spouse love, you with your children love. But it just basically talks about taking the mask off. Taking the mask off, taking all this. Listen, we've already done so much contrived, so much, you know, the song speaks of, it says, we've been in the trenches, barely breathing. And then it speaks about taking off the armor, and it's just simply spreading love, letting go of the hate and all this other stuff we've been going through. Listen, we know what's been going on in America, in the world at large. And the thing is do you really love honestly? Are you willing to really bare your soul in love honestly? Or are you just wanting to be, you know, something that's cookie cutter, not just even cookie cutter, just some surface? I'm not a surface lover. I can't write surface lover songs. I can, but that's not, if I deliver it, even if it's a simple lyric, it's going to have something else in it. It's a little soulful something. There's going to be some Cleveland in it. And Cleveland doesn't do well with just pretending to sing something. If I'm going to sing it, I want to sing it from the heart. So Let's Make Love is not necessarily sexual, but it's definitely, it wasn't intended for that. But whatever, however the love flows, let it flow. So there we go.
So you can't hug water or you fuck around and drown. You can't hug.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? You know, and it's wonderful, man. And y'all reuniting, you and Stacey reuniting,
man,
is exciting for music, for us music lovers, us soul, R&B, jazz lovers, period. Because y'all are monsters as your own, as individuals, but together, y'all also make some amazing things. So I look forward to this new, y'all both being in Atlanta now to see what you guys have. And man, tell everybody, how do they get in touch with you? Break down all your social media links for people. How do they listen to your music? Everything, the cakes, the whole nine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, we're going to Instagram. Music artist page. You can everything is Instagram.com / Cleveland P. Jones. So just Cleveland P. Jones. Cleveland P. Jones. I'm doing that, Stacey. Please stop. Okay. So it's going to be Instagram / Cleveland P. Jones. Then it's going to be Twitter / Cleveland P. Jones. Facebook / Cleveland P. Jones. Those are for the music social media things. With the baking. And also, yeah, you can also, now to find my music, you can go to Spotify. Follow me, please. It'll be great. You know what I'm saying? I want to build my followers. I really do. You know, it takes saying it sometimes, speaking out to the universe for certain things to actually manifest. Because if I just sit here and wait for someone to make it happen or someone to come to me, that may never happen. So I'm speaking to the universe on this interview with you that, hey, I'm speaking abundance of followers, of people who are willing to hear my heart song. Not just a song, you know, and for those who are going to gravitate, they're going to stick with it. And you'll become a believer. You can believe me because I won't give you no Jim Jones juice, that's for sure. And I'll leave that there. But, okay, I don't do that. I don't play that. I'm very adamant about being honest and authentic in the moment and not playing games with people and their feelings and their emotions. This is a real thing. We don't have long to stay here. When I say that, I don't care if you're 100, still, it got long to stay here. So let's just keep that moving. In regards to the baking, Instagram / The Cooking Baker. And you'll see a lot of my stuff there. Same thing as well on Facebook, and also Music Over Food. If you go to Music Over Food, same thing for the Facebook page, Instagram page, and YouTube, because we have a YouTube channel, which is youtube.com / music over food. So it's a lot of things out there, y'all, and I'm very reachable. You know, if you want to talk to me, you can talk to me. Please be cautious of what you bring to me, because I don't do well with petty stuff. I don't do well. Not that I'm in a dismissive mood. I'm just a real person, and I really want to keep the vibration high. So if it's something that's not going to lift, I don't want to be a part of it. And this is me.
We are not for the fuckery.
Not for the fuckery. I said that all the time.
We are not for the fuckery.
He's not with it though.
Yeah, dude. Hey man, that's amazing, man. And I'm glad this is the way that we actually got to catch up. It has been a while. We realized why we had got disconnected the way that we did, and we're back on track. Thank you, Stacey, for that. And man, you keep doing what you do, man. Blessings over everything you do. And we'll make sure when I put this up that they have all your links, how to get to you. Is there anything you want to say to someone just starting their music career? What's something you want to tell the youth before we leave?
Absolutely. The first thing I'm going to tell you is please breathe. Breathe. Take a breath. Try not to be like somebody else. And I know it's hard because we are easily influenced. I'm influenced by many people. I'm influenced by you. You know, I'm influenced by the people that I deal with and the people that I admire. But do your best to find your voice and be okay with it. I think one of the biggest things, and I also do vocal coaching too. So one of the biggest things I realize that bothers people most is they want to sound like something, and it's hard for them to accept their own voice. And if you can get to accept your own voice, whether you, I would love to play like Stacey. I love to play like certain people, but I can't play like him. And something said, well, it's not your lane, but you still can play. So the thing about this is being okay in your skin with the journey. Take the journey, the ups and downs, the positive, the negatives. It's all going to happen anyway. Let them talk. It's okay. Hush your mouth and do the business. Work in silence sometimes. Make sure that you just getting the work done instead of just talking about new music coming. Wonderful, wonderful. Is it done? Do the work. That's the thing. Do the work. And I love it. One of my friends, she said to me, she says, build it and they will come. And that's what I'm working on. I'm building it and they will come. And so it's no need for me to sit here, wait, and try to say, well, come on, y'all, come over. It's nice if you subscribe to me or not. But for those who are meant to be for Cleveland, and for you, the youth, they're coming. Just be patient, though. You got to work, but still do the work in your patience. Stop. Don't talk so much. Do the work. So that's one of the things. And Superman is not showing up. You are Superman. That's the thing.
I say that in one of my new songs, man. You know, the mission here is us becoming superhuman. Us within. Look, find that God within yourself and shine. And that's really what it's about, man. Yo, this is wonderful, Cleveland. Thank you so much for coming on here. World, this is Jay Tronius. Once again, you've gabbing with the Guvna. Love and light to everybody. We're both here for y'all and for ourselves. One time. Peace.
Peace.